Fragrant Nomad. And I am back with the second choice that you guys voted for in my first poll on the next perfume I should be reviewing. You have to excuse where I'm sitting. I was doing some painting and I filmed an unboxing video, and so I just didn't want to set everything up over in my normal spot and decided to just wing it from here. So this is me winging it. At least I got perfumes behind me, so there is that. And then my inversion board, which is super important in my life. So anywho, this is Atomic Rose by Initio. I absolutely adore it. I've loved it since pretty much the first moment I smelled it. I've gone through a couple of different large samples of it, and I was always like, why didn't I just pop for it? And then that wonderful Betty got a hold of me, and we kind of, decided on what we were trading. And I got this beauty in my hands, and I love it. But I'm really getting into rose right now. Rose and tuberose. A little bit of jasmine, not much. But rose and tuberose, especially rose. I like the creamy, rich, dense kind of roses. We have a lot of wild roses around here, and it's one of my favorite floral smells is a wild rose. But your heavily bred roses, they're bred for their looks more than their scent. So a lot of time the scent is bred right out of them, so that they can have really pretty petals. But to me, I like a rose that smells good. That's why I love wild roses. So this is Initio Atomic Rose, and it's just, I checked on Fragrantica, compared it to Initio, and they're accurate. So I'm just going with Fragrantica. Pink pepper, hedione, I don't know how to say that. I should have looked that up, but I didn't because I'm busy. Bergamot, Bulgarian rose, Turkish rose, Egyptian jasmine, Madagascar, vanilla, and amber. I was so surprised that there wasn't some patchouli in this, or maybe a hint of tobacco, but mostly patchouli, because it has that vibe. It's a little sweet, but not heavy sweet. I could swear that there's something really earthy in there, like patchouli, something green. But I guess the hedione is like a kind of a green jasmine smell. I almost interpret that it's more the stem that holds the bloom and the leaves that cradle the bloom as opposed to the bloom itself, because that's kind of what I get. I get some of the jasmine for sure, but there's this greenness to it that just reminds me of like a moist patchouli, not head shop hippie, Woodstock kind of patchouli. But this is much more warm, rich. Because I get this green earthiness, I associate it with patchouli, kind of a wet, fresh green patchouli, not a head shop hippie Woodstock kind of patchouli. That to me is more incense patchouli. I kind of categorize patchouli in three different ways. One is the head shop hippie kind of patchouli, and I think of that as incense patchouli. And then there's the green patchouli, which is what I'm talking about here. It has that greenness, that freshness, that moistness to it. And then I think of brown patchouli, which is really earthy, a little chocolatey. And this it's like the green and brown patchouli without the chocolate. There's that earthiness, that warmth to it, but at the same time, it's very green. That's what I get anyway, at the same time. So, it's so nice. It's so nice. It's one of my favorite rose perfumes at this point in time in my life, right now. So, that could change by next week, but today it's one of my favorite roses. I have worn the crap out of it, and I'm not sure this is the right time of year for that, but we'll get to that. So I think that patchouli rose, sweet, hint spicy kind of vibe, comes from that hedione. I think the amber has something to do with it as well, and of course there's the pink pepper in there. Bergamot isn't a big player. It just adds a little bit of, I think, freshness to it. It's really all about the roses, the pink pepper, the hedione, vanilla, amber, and jasmine. But those last three are kind of a back burner until it really dries down, because it's mostly the pink pepper, the hedione, and the roses at the very beginning. And it is a creamy rose, but as it dries down, it becomes a little more of a spicy rose. And it's like that green patchouli kind of turns into the brown patchouli, where it becomes much earthier, much more depth, much more warmth to it. And I'm assuming that's the addition of the amber. Now, when I went on Initio's website, it said main ingredients or main notes. And that's exactly what Fragrantica has on there, but I have a feeling there's more to it than that. I just get more to it than just what they're telling me, but I could be totally wrong, but I don't think I am. It's an Initio, so it's going to be on the more expensive side. I guess I was always thinking this was 100 mLs, but I just looked at the bottom, took a while because the lettering's very small and hard to read. Looks like it's 90 mLs, so it's 3 ounces straight, or flat, or even. 3 ounces even. And it'll last you a while because it performs well. But again, it's that rose, creamy, green, fresh kind of beginning, slightly sweet. And then as it warms up, you get more of the spice, a little bit of spice, not a lot. And that green patchouli vibe I'm getting turns to more of a brown patchouli, which is more earthy, more warmth, I think from the addition of the amber. So really, really, really beautiful stuff. Thank you, Betty. I really appreciate it because I'm in love with this. So as far as performance goes, it lasts really well for me. I get easily, I shouldn't say really well. Anymore, it's about average for an expensive perfume, but I get 8-9 hours out of it easily. And honestly, I don't have to have much more than that. Well, I don't have to have any more than that. That's a full day's wearing, and that's great for me. But it's when it's, expensive and it only lasts 5-6 hours that I start to have issues. So 8-9 hours is perfect. Then I can change my perfume later on. Now it does kind of become a skin scent, and this woodiness kind of comes out. Kind of a slight generic woodiness as the rose really comes down. And I don't know where the woodiness is coming from because there's no woody notes in there. But it's this vibe that I get. That at the deepest dry down, like at hour 8, 9, right in there, it becomes a little generic at that point and needs refreshing if you're going to go anywhere and enjoy it again. But that first 7 hours is absolutely divine. But it does get a little generic at the very, very deep dry down. They didn't try real hard with the deepest dry down. But oh my gosh, the part before then is just lovely. So in my opinion, it's super unisex. Not one side or the other. Rose and earthy notes, amber, pink pepper, that's all very, very unisex. It's not one or the other. Some people consider a heavy rose perfume to be a little more on the feminine side of the scale. I do not. So, and I already told you the price is spendy, but I did get this in a trade. This really, I think, is more cool weather temps, personally. Even though I have been wearing the shitski out of it in this heat. I don't go outside, though. I stay in the 70s and high 60s. Projection in this heat isn't as much as I thought it would be. I thought it might bloom a little bit, but it doesn't. It stays about arm's length with 2 sprays. Now I'm curious to see how that'll work once the temperature gets cold, and I can test it out in fall and winter and stuff like that to see what the performance is like. I do leave a bit of a sillage, but not a lot. It really likes to hold to you and not let go to leave your side in order for you to leave a trail, a scent trail behind you when you walk out of a room. So sillage isn't great, but sillage isn't really that important to me, because I think some people think that if you leave a sillage, you're wearing too much perfume. Those that aren't in the know, those that aren't frag heads. I do think that people feel that way, that if they can still smell your perfume when you've left the room, then you are overspraying. And I have to explain to them that's not necessarily true. Some perfumes just break away from you easier than others. So, but it's all an education thing. Is it worth the money? That depends. If you love rose as much as I do, I would have paid, I rarely pay retail. Sometimes I do. But most of the time, I get some kind of deal out of it, discount or extras or something that brings the price down a little bit. So, it's worth the $200, I think, pretty easily, because this is going to last you a long time. Bottles are, nothing to write home about. I've never really cared that much about the bottles. The sprayer is a bit of a straight shooter. See what I mean? It kind of goes it doesn't fan out as much as I like, because I don't like to concentrate my scent in one area, because that's when it tends to dribble. And I just don't think I think a better disbursement just helps the scent develop, and just makes it more enjoyable for me anyway. So I'm not crazy about the sprayer, it's fine. But, for being an expensive perfume, it really should have a sprayer more like, House of Sillage or something like that, where they have a really good sprayer on theirs. So I guess that's about it for Atomic Rose. I appreciate you guys voting on that poll, and I see you guys are voting on the next poll. The newest poll, be sure to check it out on my community page and vote, please, if you haven't yet. I'm going to leave it up there for at least, probably another 4 or 5 days. I'm going to leave that poll. It's going to be up there for good, but I'm going to make my decision on, I'm going to see who won in 4 or 5 days. So be sure to vote. But it's kind of close. There's one that's kind of shooting out. I won't give anything away. Go check it out. Kind of leaving the pack a little bit, but there's a really close race for second, the second review I'm going to do. So I hope you go and vote and check it out, because it really helps me out so I don't have to rack my brain figuring out what should I review next. I stand in front of one of my walls, the one over there that has all my new perfumes, and I'm like, I have no idea. I have too many to choose. I can't do it. So it really helps me when you vote. So thank you very much. All right. So I will be back soon. I have an unboxing, like I said, that I have just filmed just a few minutes ago. And then I have another haul video coming up in another week or so. I'm waiting for one bottle of perfume to show up. It won't be that big. It'll be 10 bottles, 11 bottles, something like that. This next haul is going to have only one house that's new to me, but what a house. What a house. So, all right. And then I have got, and then I'll be doing the next poll, see who those winners are, and go in that order. So you'll kind of know what's coming up, and you won't have to just guess or just show up just to see. Even though I would love it if you would do that, just show up and see what I'm doing. That would be great. Anyway, all right. Thank you for being here. I appreciate it so much. And don't forget to like and subscribe and ring the bell and comment if you want. If you don't, it's all good. I still love you. And use your own nose. Bye.